basically yesterday, to give the audience, we're going to get on a plane from El Salvador. Mind you, I'm in El Salvador because people are threatening to rape my wife, my children, murder my babies, decapitate them, all the fun stuff. And they're posting my address, trying to figure out the map of my house and where the kids' rooms would be. It's gotten very disgusting. So
wow.
I've had to vacate my house. Not to mention, then you have Wyatt Claypool and Will Chamberlain and stuff spreading that I'm divorced. I'm hiding my divorce. You got Xavier Randaso and the something millennial from PragerU people are claiming I'm a pedophile and that I, give alcohol and substances to kids. Like, this is all happening right now. They're trying to kill my family. Criminally accused me of pedophilia, criminally accused me of like crimes and giving substances to kids. All this stuff that makes me look really cool. No, I'm kidding. But but all this stuff that's like it's a coordinated attack while I'm currently being accused of the crime of posting a picture of someone that they already posted online. I would feel like this is I've mentioned this many times, but this is the legal equivalent of your wife divorcing you over cheating on her in her dream. Right?
Yeah, totally.
It's like, this is what this is. It's like, you made this up and now I'm at fault. Oh, that's crazy. A woman making things up in her head and then putting words into your mouth that you didn't say, Gavin. This is breaking news.
I don't understand why people care so much about the FBI's wife.
Well, it's his girlfriend. So he doesn't have spousal immunity. So that's why he's open to discovery. So she opened the FBI director to discovery. And if he tries to do immunity through the DOJ, he's a slap violation because then he's admitting guilt that he's associated with this. Also, she doesn't make any money, so she's not paying for this. This is where the juicy stuff gets in. It's a lot to unpack. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm trying to explain to people how crazy this is. That this is kind of where it's hurting her denial of having any nefarious things. Why is she getting access to his legal firm if they're dating? Right? I mean, if I was dating a girlfriend, I'm not going to give her like my $3,000 an hour lawyers, right? That's weird. So why is she getting one of the most expensive legal firms in DC? She doesn't even live in DC. She hired a firm in the district, and she doesn't even.
But that's my company. If it's taxpayer money, that's my lawyer.
Well, we don't know, although we do know that he used a $60 million jet in taxpayer money to go visit her singing the Star Spangled Banner or something like that at an amateur wrestling match. Then, so now she's also opened up government devices to discovery because now we have proof that he's using government funds and devices, allegedly, to communicate. So now when we want communications, we want official government records, flight logs, et cetera. But then my lawyer, who's one of the most well-respected attorneys, I have a lot of attorneys working for me right now, some for free, some for a lot of money. And basically, they filed this in the highest court in Florida, a federal court. And they said this is unprecedented. There's never defamation suits at a federal level. This is not only if it's international, right? If like a Mexican company is causing problems in a trade war, you go to federal court. So they filed this in their court system. So they're using a federal law firm that works in federal cases out of DC, the federal capital, to file in a federal circuit court for a drama over Twitter. Like this is literally what it is, which means this is nefarious, in my opinion. This is something deeper.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining.
That's going on.
You got to be careful you don't get into this Lenny Bruce trap where you talk about the nuances of the case to the point where you turn people off with the finagling details. What's the story with your producer, your security guy? He's getting sucked in too?
I agree to that, but I think we should keep updates on here. I'd love to give you here at Censored TV. I'd love to do leaks if we get juicy info. Yep. Just come on and give you the leak behind the paywall. We'll tease it. So basically my producer, which this is the funniest thing. Here is a video of him there in the blue shirt. There is him. I just got through the port of entry. I'm on the other side and he's getting denied entry and walking over to his secondary security screening. We now have the Department of Homeland Security responded to this, okay? They responded to this. The Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary tweeted at me and said, no one from the DHS Gov threatened you. Your producer's boarding pass included a random selection for extra screening just like thousands of other Americans daily. There was no secondary screening and absolutely no arrest. Okay, by the way, thousands of Americans get Quad S. There's 370 million people. So out of the couple thousand out of 370 million, my operations manager, by the way, not my producer, he's the second in charge of my company. He runs the operation. Okay, so this is not like your producer got, a screening. No. My producer was labeled a threat. We were pulled aside in El Salvador. We were already given a secondary screening. Might I mind you, this is my second time in El Salvador in a week because I want to get this is details. I went to El Salvador 3 days earlier. My bags didn't show up. I checked in 3 bags, 1 under his name, 2 under mine. His bag showed up, mine didn't. I called American Airlines, like, I don't know where your bags are.
Why are you going to El Salvador?
Because I worked I'm friendly with the government down there. I work in, let's just say I liaison from the interests of America are in El Salvador, and I help represent some of those interests. And so basically I go down there. I have safe haven down there. I have a safe house. I have people. I'm getting threats on my life. my family's not home. I'm no longer home. We get out. We're breaking the lease. My bags don't show up. American Airlines says, I don't know where your bags are. Like, we don't know. I have a tracker in my bag. I had a tracker. It's gone. The tracker's turned off. My tracker's out of my bag. I'm like, I have trackers in there. What the freak? They're disabled. Somebody disabled my trackers and my bags are gone? Wow, they must be stolen. Well, American Airlines says, actually, TSA kept your bags. TSA has them in Miami. And I'm like, okay, how the hell do I get my bags? And they're like, well, we don't know, but you're gonna have to go meet TSA in America. So I was there for less than 12 hours. It's 4 a.m. I'm on the phone. I get on a plane on an airline that is like about as stable as a Central American political system. It's like trying to not die. It's like, please survive this ride. It's like if Spirit Airlines looks like a luxury airline with what I went on. And I was like, but there was no blacks on this one. So, it was safe. But I get on, I land, and they go, oh, the TSA, we don't know where your bags are, actually. You can't pick up your bags. We'll go ahead and we'll deliver them tonight. Tonight comes, they go, we're going to bring them in an hour. Don't bring my bags. I call them like, well, TSA kept them. Sorry, they're not giving us any information. They deliver my bags. I have a very important meeting down there. I get back on a plane the next day. They finally bring them at night. I grab my bag. Somebody had been through my bags, by the way. The tracker's missing. There's no tracker in the bag. Somebody took the tracker out of the bag. And I go down. Might I mind you too, when I was coming back from El Salvador to pick up my bag, they did a secondary screening. They took everything out. All of my, they opened up things, Gavin, that were shrink wrapped. I said, don't open that, man. I'm going to return that. It's a $500 thing that I was going to return a piece of equipment. They open it. Like, sorry, we have to open your devices, everything. They scrape everything. They make me take off my shoes. They're touching my feet. Very weird stuff. I come back to El Salvador. And then as we're leaving, we see that he gets put on, they said, oh, you're a threat. And by the way, here's Quad S. They're the ones who told us, like, you're probably gonna be detained at security, and then you're probably gonna be detained at by DHS. They told us in El Salvador. We do get detained at the gate. So we got detained trying to leave the country by security to do a secondary screening. Now, I never claimed that I was personally threatened. I said he was threatened. He was. When we get back, he's denied entry. The biometrics fail. They take his picture like, dude, we can't let you through. They actually started asking him if he was a U.S. citizen. They're like, you're in the wrong line. You're not a U.S. citizen. You can't come in this line. We released the video, and he's like, oh, I'm a U.S. citizen. Like, that's weird, because the only reason you could get denied is if you were not a U.S. citizen from biometrics. Please come with me. So that video I showed you is him going to secondary screening. But the DHS assistant secretary tells me, she says this, she lies to the public. This is official on record from her official government account, says, there was no secondary screening. And I posted the video of him getting a secondary screening.
Wow.
So why is she lying? And also, I want to bring something up here. Hey, let me see if can you guys bring me the financial document so I can show proof of this real fast? Mike, if you can bring the credit card statement. I'm going to show you on camera here. Shortly before this, the reason why we started getting suspicious that we were under threat from the federal government, our bank accounts, including my personal bank accounts, were all closed, okay? They were all closed. We got a letter in the mail that we're closing my accounts. You know how this works, because, individuals, and I'm going to make sure that they come here real fast. Let me just mess them, because I want to show you this. I want to show proof on your show so you can see this.
All your bank accounts were shut down, Elijah.
Yes.
Wow.
So they shut down all the accounts, including my wife's account, my wife's personal account. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I want you to see the name on the account of why they shut them down. See that? You guys can see it says Michael Hennessy, the guy who got the Quad S. They put us on. They shut down our bank accounts and we asked them.
Wait, what's
why?
the Quad S?
Quad S means you're a threat. It means you need an air marshal on flights. You have to have second. You're basically a potential threat to national security. It's what they put all the J6ers on to put them through hell to travel. So we get a letter from my bank, and they shut down my personal cards, my business cards, everything, and say Michael Hennessy, this is from Citibank, is the reason why. And we go, why? Like, we can't tell you. It's basically
And that's
above
your
our pay
manager
grade.
of operations, Michael Hennessy?
He's the second. He's in charge of the whole team. We had an operations manager about a month ago. He left and he took over his spot.
Gotcha.
So he's running the operations. And a few weeks, this is like, again, we were suspicious. Like, why are you shutting him down? They go, he's flagged in a federal system as like some sort of a risk or something. Now, he has over an 800 credit score. He's a homeowner. You can pop your head in here for a second if you want. Come pop your head in. This is him, so you know he's not like a random person. And what happened when you got to the port of entry? They because the DHS, I want to caveat this for a clip. The assistant secretary of the DHS said, I'm lying. Not only was his screening just random, but also claimed they did not do a secondary screening. However, there were 2 screenings. What happened when you got to the airport?
So when I got to first I got checked in El Salvador. That's where it first happened. But as soon as I came back to the United States, they had the facial recognition where you can actually go ahead and pass through because everything going on with TSA. As soon as I came up to the machine, it was rejected at first. And they asked if I was a U.S. citizen. I'm absolutely a U.S. citizen, which I told them. And then the supervisor came over and said, no, he has to go through the second screening area. So they sent me over to another desk where I had to go ahead. I had to meet with a TSA or like a police officer, and they just asked me a few questions to go ahead and let me pass, but I definitely was not allowed the route everybody else was going. I was sent to a whole nother area where I was questioned even more, and then eventually they allowed me to pass.
Yeah.
That sounds like a screening to me.
So I'm putting that on record here. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Hennessy. So I want to remind you, why they're freaking out is they didn't want us to know that they were trying to sue us. We actually blew the lid on their operation.
Oh, right.
Because Josh Hammer's team and Barry Wise's team, why is it always them? Why is it always them? Their investigation teams were like snooping with people for info on me. And I was getting calls from people like, hey, Newsweek, CBS, they're snooping for info on you, claiming that there's going to be this like takedown and like kind of like see if I want to get in on this. And I'm like, the last time I had heard of a snoop takedown, 6 months later I was fired from Blaze TV. Okay, the last time I heard there was people join the club, I was fired. Now, again, not to exhaust your audience, I'm just really trying to explain how serious this is. I've never been able to really explain the intricacies to the public. They freaked out because basically we filed and found the court docs for the lawsuit. They haven't served me yet, Gavin. They haven't even gotten it to me. They haven't even sent the cease and desist, the 5-day warning that they're supposed to give to a media company. They didn't even have their ducks in a row. They filed the preliminary lawsuit, didn't tell anyone, never announced it. And Newsweek journalist Josh Hammer's team fucked up and accidentally told Sam Parker that he was looking for info on me. And Sam flagged me, hey, I think Alexis Wilkins is going after you. Now, here's where they really fucked up. Because they didn't know that I found out about it, we went ahead and did a background search on the history of their communications. And we find all of this information. Alexis Wilkins had been complaining online consistently about me. You would never believe this, and I'm not making this sexist, but I was shocked too because I didn't know women were capable of this. I'm really, my mind is blown because we're equal and we're the same. She was retweeting, like I would say something as vague, this is serious, like, hey, I've decided to start following God. I realize this is going to be very hard. I didn't know because orthodoxy is about, salvation through suffering. I go that I'm going to have to give up everything I love to find God. She would retweet that and go like, your faith is basically fake. All the evil things you conjure up and you say about me and all of these things. Mind you, I've never said anything evil about her. I'm not even accused of saying anything. She says this. And then the current lawyer that she's working with is like backing her up on the thread. Like, yeah, like responding to everyone who's criticizing her. This is way before the lawsuit and everything. She's going, yeah, like don't pick on her. She's a real Christian and he's not. And she's also getting people who have previously slandered me backing her up, being like, yeah, he's fake.
I thought she was.
Well, no, she says, she literally says, someone says you're to her, and she goes, I'm not. I'm a Christian. Get my faith out of your mouth or whatever. And you're like, so she's claiming, like, she's now accusing me essentially publicly of saying that she's never said she was Mossad, never said she worked for Israel. Now, here's the problem. She has this beef going on, and her lawyer, Kash Patel's board of directors, his legal team, who we believe either he's paying for or the government's paying for, we have history of him getting in her personal drama. It's a conflict of interest. He's publicly tweeting from his own verified account all this stuff about me. And then I'm criticizing Kash a lot about his Epstein connections. And this is where I'm going to bring the whole connection. He then writes under one of my posts, yeah, I think we're going to sue Elijah Schaffer. Unrelated to her.
Cash does, or her?
His attorney.
His attorney
publicly writes that he's going to try to sue me, but it's before any of this. Like, he just says he's going to. So we believe Cash's lawyer created the lawsuit and suggested it, and then he realized that she had all this drama, so then it looks like he probably pulled her into it and went, okay, well, we'll use her drama, which is, by the way, this explains why the whole lawsuit is about me being an anti-Semite. It has 4 pages about calling me an anti-Semite and anti-Israel, and you can read it in detail. It has a half a page claiming that I defamed Alexis, of which it claims I never actually defamed her. I implied defamation. But the whole lawsuit is about Kash and my criticism of Kash.
She's not Israeli or anything?
I'm just going to say for the record here, no. She's a sensational, patriotic country music star. So we think that this would explain all the slander about Israel. I was accusing Kash of being extorted by Israel, actually. That's the only person that I accused. I accused Kash of being extorted. That's why he's reneging on the Epstein files, because as you know, Lauren Boebert leaked that he was lobbying her in her office or whatever, trying to get her to not vote to release the Epstein files, which is unprecedented. So we think that he actually, Kyle Seraphin, Sam Parker, and me were going heavy on threads against Kash and his connection to Israel. And they were getting mad about it because we were really releasing a lot of details. And they filed lawsuits. Dude, 1 million people have said that she's a honeypot. People have written songs, have been like, she's a spy. All these people, they went after 3 people who are publicly exposing Kash Patel. And then the lawsuit isn't about her. It's about my criticisms of Israel and how all of my
which are perfectly legal, by the way. That's
right. But he's a government official. We can say that. Basically, the lawsuit then says I'm only motivated by my hate for Israel, and they're trying to get me to get sued to prove that my criticisms of Kash, we believe, and I have the right to believe this lawsuit is Kash Patel trying to discredit journalists and commentators who have been rightfully criticizing him of being motivated not by truth, but by our hate for Israel. And that's why from where it was filed to the federal court it was put in to the comments, I think that Alexis Wilkins may be a victim of a larger scheme and a plot for the government to discredit individuals. And they didn't have anything on me. They didn't have anything. I never said any illegal claims. Now they had to pull a picture, say I implied stuff. And ultimately what they want is this, why it's crazy. They sued for the exact evaluation of my company, which means that I don't have $5 million. And they know that I don't, because we have a lot of mutual friends. That the only thing that they can take now are my actual digital assets that have anything of value. I don't own a home, anything. So they actually want to shut down my company, which is very bizarre. And here's why we know this is nefarious. Never sent a cease and desist. She could DM me, never requested a takedown, never asked for a retraction. These are all normal things you do when you've been rightfully defamed. You have to go through these track records. They went straight for the jugular in the highest court with a very expensive team that she's not paying for, allegedly, to shut down my company. And since they've been ineffective on the PR campaign, it appears that the federal government is now targeting the next in line in my company, like we saw with the Russiagate. You couldn't get Trump, so you get Papadopoulos, et cetera. So this is very serious, extremely litigious, very expensive, and I'm sick of this shit, Gavin. I am sick of it. And you know it. They did it to you with the Proud Boys. You know how they work.
Your contention is it's likely that these are Zionists in the White House that hate your anti-Semitism and are using her as a pawn to take your voice away.
Yeah, and do you know what happened a couple weeks before this?
What?
I can't, through NDA, say any details, but there was a guy named Jordan Satachel who has been exposed working for the Israeli government. You can look him up. He put a dossier together and tried to get me fired as a journalist from my main publication. be like a couple weeks before this. Then some people from some powerful Zionists from J.D. Vance's campaign also came in, and they tried to get me fired, saying that I put up a meme. This is the second time I've been accused of a meme.
Wait, what do you mean your previous media company?
Like, no, previous like pressure to shut down my company.
Right,
I put
Rift.
up a meme making fun of J.D. Vance, and they basically threatened the company that I was working with. Like, basically they're threatening their access to the White House if like they didn't get rid of me. And I was told, stop. I was literally instructed, please stop criticizing J.D. Vance because this could ruin our business with the White House.
Who is this?
And then
what company is this?
I could tell you off the record. I cannot tell you here,
okay.
but people can put the two and two together. Just think about who I don't work with anymore. So this was my main income, by the way. They took away my main income the day before Charlie Kirk was murdered. I just got a call, you're gone. I got it on record that it was my views on Israel is why I got cut away. It was causing too much complications. Pressure from the White House to a media company to fire me because of my criticisms of Israel. So the White House is pressuring.
Sounds very blazy to me. Okay.
Well, yes. So this has all happened a couple weeks before this. So we've been under a lot of suspicion on what's going on. On top of that, it gets even worse, like with this criticism of Israel stuff. They finally got me fired. I lost my income, whatever. Just so you know, my car got stolen a few weeks ago. It was a hit job. They got the exact 30 minutes. When I go to bed and my wife wakes up, they stole the car then. They found the tracking devices. I had 2 tracking devices installed secretly in my car. They removed them upon stealing the car, shipped the car off. We think it got captured at the port. The police said in Palm Beach County to me directly, I have it on record, this is a planned hit. You are, by the way, the average home price in my area is between $48 million. It's everyone that hears where my car got stolen from in front of my house goes, that makes no sense. Like, this is so safe. There's been, the last time there was a crime in my neighborhood was 2 years ago. It was a domestic violence incident. It's not even any serious crime. My car gets stolen and the police go, someone doesn't like you and they're trying to inflict pain. And I go, I don't know if that's true.
It's working.
Then my car gets stolen the next week. I get fired. Then Charlie gets murdered. I'm like getting really pissed about all this stuff. And then I get threatened with a lawsuit from Seth Dillon of the Babylon Bee. That's like, he intimidates my employees. He goes to my employee, one of my main girls, and he goes, basically, we're watching you, Seth Dillon said, because I'm the one who exposed the Hamptons meeting with that investigation with Max Blumenthal and Candace. We were working on that, and I'm the one who had the sources where Charlie was allegedly threatened that were there, that were credible, that were saying this happened. So they're mad at me over exposing the Hamptons meeting with Charlie. He threatens a lawsuit like, we're tracking everything he says and you say, and he literally goes, we will bring the full, force of legal down on Elijah if he even basically breathes the wrong word. So this is all happening a couple weeks before this. So obviously I'm on guard. I'm getting threatened by rabid Zionists with a lot of money. I'm being legally intimidated. My employees are being intimidated. I lose my car in what police claim was a hit. It was done so well, they claim it was a hit. I lose my main job due to my views on Israel. And so I'm going, it was my main contract, not a job, right? It's a contract with my company. So it's like our main contract, our main source of income gets cut. So they know that I'm down. And then we get our bank accounts canceled. That's weird with Michael. That's where Michael gets pulled into this. And then we get Barry Wise's and Josh Hammer's team searching. Then we find out about this, uncover it, find out it's in the highest court. It's from his legal team.
Wait,
and then
Barry Weiss and Josh Hammer are not on your side. They're against you.
No. Yeah, they're against me.
Yeah. Okay.
It's only their teams, their company, and their teams that are
Josh
working
Hammer.
to
I
come against
remember
me.
that guy. He's come at me before. Yeah.
Yeah, my bags get taken by the TSA. They won't communicate with the airline. They get rid of the tracker in my bag, just like they got rid of the tracker in my car. I don't know how they found it. They're like, well, they would have had to have a nice wand and really be able to look for trackers. They take my bags. They call me back to the U.S. I go through hell to get my bags back. Then they release me. We get quad-est on the way back from the country. They pull us aside for secondary screening. After I already had a secondary screening just to come back, then we come back and there is secondary screening and possible detainment. The DHS says that there's no reason they can keep us. And then when I go to get my bag coming back to America just yesterday, I'm priority. All the priority bags come out. All the bags come out, and we're just sitting there like, where's my luggage? My luggage had went through a secondary screening, we assume, because it comes out later, like 20 minutes later, my bag just pops out, and it's like, it has a priority sticker. It's supposed to be the first out on the rail. Now what, take 40 minutes to get my bag to me? That's the last bag. Very, very weird stuff. I wake up And there's journalists, like Brianna Morello and whatnot, saying, like, look, I don't care. I don't care that Brianna Morello's. I don't care about any of this stuff. But it's just weird that they're saying basically, oh, we called the TSA and they said he's lying. And then I'm like, okay, I like Brianna. I'm not shit talking her. I messaged her and I'm like, hey, if you wanted to publicly undermine me, like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you ask for, I could tell you about the bank records. None of this stuff was public. Then I get the actual DHS. Like, if this is some stupid claim, when does the DHS respond to tweets? An official representative of the DHS is like, actually, he's lying. So I have to upload a video to prove that they're not telling the truth. And then on top of this, listen, this is even crazier. Alexis Wilkins' colleagues, Xavier De Rousseau from PragerU, an official on the record, payrolled primary rep of PragerU, her parent company, accuses me, I'm going to bed, of being a pedophile. And which listen, this is how dumb he is. He claims that I was drinking with minors.
15-year-old, and it led to a divorce.
Well, yes. And so that at the same time, you have Will Chamberlain and Wyatt Claypool lobbying the government to do a FARA investigation and to be claiming I'm taking money from Qatar and Russia. And then even crazier is he messed up so badly because he accidentally accused Turning Point of providing alcohol to minors. Not a good thing. So now PragerU, a competing nonprofits representative, is claiming that Turning Point is providing alcohol to kids, which is very, very dangerous to claim. They have a lot of lawyers. I've already flagged their lawyers on it. We're talking right now because he's made false claims about Turning Point. Then he has to clarify, oh, well, he was just at a party. It's the only time I've ever met Elijah, he claims. This is another lie. The only time I met him, and he was at a party, and the host of the party, check this out, was 20 years old. Whoa, he was drinking a beer. I went to a party, Gavin. I went to with every other influencer that was there. Savannah Hernandez was there. So what is she now, a criminal, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody was there. And now News Nation representatives, all the Turning Point influencers were there, but the host was 20. Now he can go kill a Brown family in the Middle East. God forbid he drinks a beer. God forbid he has a little relief from his PTSD from murdering, brown people in the name of Israel. And then he claims that he was there. I met Xavier last year at the RNC, years after this alleged only incident that we interacted with. He's even lying that we've never met before. We've met several times since then. Okay. And now he's coming out trying to break up my marriage. And now Wyatt comes in after wanting to lobby me for FARA, starts claiming that I'm actually divorced. And I'm doing all this because I'm going I'm divorced from my wife. I'm trying to hide it. Who's talking about my marriage? Even if I was divorced, which I'm not, what does that have to do with this?
Yeah, it's none of their business.
What does having a beer in 2021? This was supposed to be
a quick 10-minute hit here. We've gone about 30 minutes over.
It's good, though. It's good info.
No, it's great. What's your Give, Send, Go? How can we help you raise money?
Yeah. So
I think we got it. Elijah Schaffer Legal Fund.
Yeah, and I want to remind people, just because I've been accused, I have not used $1 of this fund yet. I've not used a single dollar. And everyone was like, dude, you go on vacation. El Salvador is not an expensive country. The room is $99.50 a night. I didn't pay for it. My own producer paid for his own trip out of pocket.
Don't worry about that. So, don't justify it by acknowledging it.
I'm saying this is not good, because if this was about defaming her, why are they going after my marriage? Why are they accusing me of criminal activity? And then this guy, I want him on record here because I want to call him out, because we're going to have to, go a legal route here.
Well, make sure it's a two-party consent state if you're going to call someone on fire.
He published this publicly. He said Elijah Schaffer. This is the older millennial. He said Elijah Schaffer is trying to rewrite his history with Turning Point. You didn't get blacklisted over your Israel views. You got blacklisted because you had after parties with minors.
Yeah, we already discussed this.
No, it's a different guy.
Oh.
He said he claims that I had sex with minors, with girls, with underage girls. He's claiming here, this is serious. And you go, well, maybe he means that they're 20 as well, which is at their prime. And he goes, they blacklisted your little pedophile ass because you're weird. So he calls me a pedophile. This is connected to PragerU, by the way. And so now I'm getting accused of criminal pedophilia. They're claiming I'm divorced and that I work for Russia or Qatar. This is a full-on op campaign, all because I posted a picture of her and blew the lid on the operation. This is very serious, and they're intimidating my other employee with legal threats. They're intimidating. We had to get lawyers involved, by the way. Also, I'm not going to say who, but another person also came and tried to sue my company into oblivion. Another
okay, we got to wrap it up, dude. This is a lot. But wow, that's fascinating. A lot of parts to this machine. But
It's a lot, man.
Let's stay updated. Let's keep having you back here and keep getting progress on this crazy case.
Yeah. So I'll just one sentence, just end real quickly. Thank you for your support, Gavin. I love Censored TV. I'll share the clips, whatever your code is or whatever. You guys got to subscribe to censored.tv. It is a fantastic network. The truth is out there. Gavin has always gotten my back. And for anyone that also spread lies that I don't like Gavin or Gavin doesn't like me, in business, sometimes people split ways, but Gavin has been nothing but financially, reputationally, and using his platforms to amplify me. And I thank Censored for all of their investment in hard times. And we'll never not be friends because you're a real one.
Right on, dude. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming by.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.